Hi, I'm Cam Oliver, and today I'm going to be discussing the history and evolution of the World Wide Web and how that's affected the way we use it in the classroom. So, there were various developments in computing throughout the early 20th century, but in around 1990, Sir Tim Berners-Lee develops the World Wide Web. And the first few years of this are called Web 1.0. The pages that you saw in these days were pretty simple. They relied on communicating static information with a fairly basic framework like HTML, which is developed by Berners-Lee. So during the period of Web 1.0, we have a very small number of people who have access to both the technology, the knowledge, and the software to make web content. So we have a tiny number of web creators, and their content is being consumed by a larger number of web consumers. After the dot-com bubble and surviving Y2K, people began to see that the web was more permanent, it was going to stick around. During this time, technology also becomes a bit more affordable, so more people are interacting with the web on a daily basis. So during this time period, our small group of web creators are interacting with the internet in the way that they're also consumers. We have a reciprocal relationship with the way that we're using the internet. So now we have a group of web users, a massive group of web users emerged during this time. And some key technologies that emerged to create Web 2.0 were the social aspect of using the internet. Over this time, we also see mobile technology develop. So we get the first BlackBerry and then the iPhone, and technology becomes a lot more accessible and user-friendly. And we also saw the use of cloud storage emerge. Things like Google Drive and different cloud-based storage models. So then we get to Web 3.0. And the term Web 3.0 was coined in 2006, but for the purposes of this, we'll say that it firmly emerges around 2012, which is when we start to see whistleblowers at the big tech companies raising ethical concerns over the way that they're using data. So in Web 3.0, the back end of the web becomes a lot more intelligent. So rather than just pulling keywords, most databases can link things on a more conceptual level and cater the online experience to each user. And this linguistic shift that the machine learning does creates what's called the semantic web, which means it uses language a lot more intelligently. So, how can we use the earlier concept of Web 2.0 in the classroom? We actually use it a lot. Pretty much all of the technology students are going to access using a school-provided device runs on Web 2.0 frameworks, and this includes things like Wikipedia, YouTube, pretty much all of the educational networks you can think of, also Adobe Flash Player, and our online learning platforms like Blackboard and Canvas. Now, using Web 3.0 in the classroom is a little bit more complicated because it's very much an emerging technology. And one of the best things you can do for your students is to prepare them to use it. So teach digital ethics. There are a lot more ethical issues around Web 3.0 when it comes to things like data use and privacy. And since the user experience in Web 3.0 is insanely personalized, there's a real opportunity for students to uncritically consume media or fall into extremist niches since the space is catered to creating those. Another way you can use Web 3.0 is to encourage students to play with AI in their classroom. It can be a good experience in pretty much any subfield There are a couple neat AIs which have emerged recently, like Google's image and audio search functionalities, which make searches a lot more dynamic. And then there's some more fun, like chat robots and the image generator DALL-E, which has been more popular lately. And playing around with these things can add to students' knowledge. But maybe the most valuable way we can use Web 3.0 in the classroom is its ability to use data analytics in informing our teaching. So first of all, we can use these platforms to customize our students' learning experience and basically letting algorithms teach for you by targeting student weaknesses and learning styles. And when we use these platforms, we're able to get a lot more data on our students than simple like grading metrics. We can see the correlation between how much time students spent on an assignment affected their performance and make other pretty complex connections. So while we know exactly what we can do with Web 2.0, it's part of our duty as teachers to kind of stay informed on emerging technologies with Web 3.0 and tailor our instruction accordingly. If you're interested in doing any further reading on the topic, I really recommend all of the sources I used to create this presentation. And that's all I have to say on the topic. If you have any further questions, I will be posting this on my blog, so I'm happy to continue the discourse there. Thanks.